time it seemed much more matter of fact, which is kind of cool when an MVP ceremony can become matter of fact for somebody. But I don't think he will be rattled tonight. I think the bigger question really is how he responds from playing in Game 4. The adrenaline has worn off. The excitement of coming back for the first time, that's gone. So now it's more settling back into the routine of playing every other night, and we'll see how he responds to that.
Coach Kerr, 558 of that first quarter. You just mentioned it. He's not 100%. Where is he right? 150% or 200%? That fourth quarter and that overtime, period A, he's playing another zone.
Yeah, he was fantastic. It did take him a while to get going. He couldn't find his rhythm early, but he obviously did late, and that's why he's the MVP. Other MVPs in the past, we've seen the same thing from, they're not fully healthy and they come out and they dominate the game. It's what makes Steph special. And he's not going to be able to do that all the time, but hopefully tonight he'll feel good and play a solid game, and we'll see what happens.
Steve, you guys competing like crazy. And Draymond said he thought tonight's game the other night was the peak of the way you guys are basically competing like crazy in the playoffs. Is it hard to find that spot every time?
It is. I mean, the playoffs are, I think, sometimes predictable in terms of which team is going to have the mental edge. We saw that in Game 2. Game 1 was a relatively easy game for us. They were coming off a hard-fought series. They weren't quite ready. They only had, a day and a half rest. And then Game 2, we kind of let our guard down, and they were ready to punch us in the mouth. And you can kind of feel those emotional swings. I think it's more just human nature than anything. But they absolutely occur in every playoff series. And you've got to, when you're vulnerable, you've got to try to keep your guard up. And you can't ever let down in the playoffs because every team you're playing is really good.
Steve here in the back. Did Clay look a little tired to you last game? And then how do you think he held down the fort with Steph out?
Well, Clay should be tired. He's been chasing Damian Lillard around for 4 games. That's a tough job. I thought he did a fantastic job. He's probably one of the few players in the league capable of taking on the responsibility at both ends in a series like this, or the last one against Houston, chasing around a dominant all-star player at one end and taking on a big part of the scoring load at the other. So Clay's doing great. We've desperately needed him to score with Steph out, and he's done so every night. And I'm sure he's happier than anybody to get Steph back. But if he looked tired, he probably was. But he's going to continue to battle, and I know he'll do a great job.
Hit the big shot in the final minute there, that 3-point shot, because his shot's kind of been coming and going, mostly going in this series.
Yeah, that was a huge shot, probably the biggest shot of the game, really. And what I loved about it was the trust, from Steph. I mean, the play, was designed to get Steph some penetration, and he did get along the baseline, and he threw the pass before Harrison was even open. It was a beautiful pass, and Harrison didn't hesitate. It was a great shot, big shot, and definitely good to see. I always say Harrison does a lot more for us than just score, so I don't worry too much about his shooting. But when he shoots well, we're that much tougher to beat.
Steve, you talked about how
after last game, Steph mentioned about he gonna have the knee treatment till the end of the season. So what that means he won't become completely healthy till the end of the season, or just normal treatment like every other after the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what his summer will look like. I mean, this is not an injury that should bother him deep into the summer. In fact, I think if we can get him proper rest and handle things correctly, the next week or so with games and practice and rest time, then I think there's a good chance he'll be back to 100%. But you never know with anything like this, and you just kind of manage it as you go and trust your medical staff.
Oh, just a bit more on the play where Harrison hit that three.
Yeah, one technical, obviously maybe not two. What did you think about that moment when to see Sean kind of lose it there? And was there any time that you thought about maybe getting a technical, that you were almost trying to get a tech just maybe to change the tide a little bit?
I would have gotten one if he hadn't gotten the second.
That moment?
That moment, I was going to get one too. I was really upset. But Sean took care of that for me. He got both of them, and but Sean is one of the most mild-mannered people around, and he doesn't get that upset very often. He was angry, he was frustrated, and he admitted he carried it too far and went over the top, and I don't think it'll happen again.
You love the way that Draymond talks, and you want him to keep talking. It's good for the team. I'm just curious what you think about his bulletin board material he's purposely been putting out there, the Game 4 guarantee, and now saying the Blazers have done as a way to motivate, he said, the Warriors.
Or maybe himself. We wouldn't mind if he didn't throw that out there, but it's Draymond. This is who he is, and I think not only do his teammates and his coaches understand, but I think the opponents understand too. It's just Draymond being Draymond, and he had a really interesting explanation for why he was doing it. It was like reverse psychology or something. It doesn't mean anything. It's just everybody has to prepare and motivate themselves for the game, and he's our guy who's going to do a lot of talking, and it's. I don't think there's any damage done, and I don't think there's a lot of offense taken either.
Two more. Why does Amino cause so many problems for you defensively, and what types of adjustments have you made to try to slow him down?
Well, first of all, he's a good player, but in any series you kind of have to assess the other team's weapons. What's most dangerous? What you're going to try to take away? What you're going to try to slow down? What you're going to be willing to give up? And there are certain shots we're willing to give up. Some of those he's made. There are certain ones that we've blown coverages on where he's been wide open. So it's been a combination of that. But we're dealing with an incredible backcourt with Lillard and McCollum, and they require so much attention that other guys are going to get free sometimes and get open, and it's going to happen. And he's played well.
In the back, interesting comments post MVP award. One from Tracy McGrady today, talking about the unanimous vote, suggesting, well, the league's watered down now, and then LeBron saying, depends on how you determine valuable. Why do you think that, regardless of what this team accomplishes, there seems to be critics that question?
I don't know if it's that the critiquing is that much different from 20 years ago, or if it's just that there's so many more outlets and so many more forums for people to speak. There were a lot of outspoken people 20 years ago when the Bulls were winning championships, and maybe there just weren't as many opportunities for people to say things, and there weren't as many people listening. I don't know, but I mean, I don't have any problem with that. I think LeBron's absolutely right. Most valuable player is can be interpreted in multiple ways. I think I read his comments. I think he said there's no question Steph deserved it, and so I didn't take that as a slight. I think it was more of a philosophical comment in my mind that there's different ways to look at a lot of these votes, whether it's MVP or some of the others as well. But I don't take it personally. I don't think our guys mind that much.
Great, thank you.